He kicked off his directing career with one of the highest grossing pictures of all time. Since then, his films have raked in an incredible $1.5 billion worldwide, and he gave us that infamous phrase, "I see dead people." His name is M. Night Shyamalan, and his new film is a bedtime story with a difference. This, ladies and gentlemen, is Lady in the Water.
Action.
Hi there film fans, my name's Adrian Dixon and a very warm welcome to a Lady in the Water That Film Show special. I'm in London's Leicester Square where the blue carpet has been rolled out and where the fans are out in force for the UK premiere of director Shyamalan's latest Twisted Tale. Over the next half hour I'll be chatting to Oscar-nominated director M. Night Shyamalan and his wonderful cast. We've got Paul Giamatti and Bryce Dallas Howard. We'll also be taking an exclusive behind-the-scenes look at the production of the movie and chatting to the celebs at tonight's star-studded event. But first, let's take an in-depth look at the brand new bedtime tale from one of Hollywood's greatest storytellers.
There is a creature. It's not in the closet. It's not under the bed. It's in the backyard.
Inspired by an impromptu bedtime story that Shyamalan invented for his two young daughters, Lady in the Water recounts the legend of Story, played by Bryce Dallas Howard, a mesmerising nymph-like young woman who is discovered by Cleveland Heap, played by Paul Giamatti. One night, Cleveland, a lonely caretaker in a sleepy apartment complex called The Cove, spies someone in the residential swimming pool who isn't supposed to be there. He slips and falls in, but is saved from drowning by the mysterious stranger.
Come out of that pool right now! How'd you get those scratches? Did the eagle come? Did something go wrong? Story? Story! Was it that dog again?
Cleveland discovers that Story is actually a narf, a nymph-like character stalked by vicious creatures determined to prevent her from making the treacherous journey back to her own world. Story is helped by Cleveland and his gaggle of motley tenants who work together to unravel the mystery of her destiny. They soon discover that they too are fated to be characters in this extraordinary tale, unfolding in the real world around them.
This world is about finding your purpose, right? And the only way to do that is to find your own voice. You told us that. I don't feel like an interpreter. Is it possible that that isn't my purpose?
Born on August 6, 1970 in India, but raised in the posh suburban Penn Valley area of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, acclaimed Academy Award nominated M. Night Shyamalan's passion for filmmaking began when he was given a Super 8 camera on his 8th birthday. Even at that young age, he began to model his career on his idol, one Steven Spielberg. At 21, Night raised enough budget for his first feature-length film, Praying with Anger. As well as directing the picture, which was based on his earlier visits to his birthplace, India, he also wrote and starred in the flick, earning him great respect from industry bigwigs who caught the film at a Canadian film festival. Following his next project, the much overlooked but enchanting Wide Awake in 1998, Night went on to conquer Hollywood with the exceptional Sixth Sense. The film that grossed over $662 million worldwide, the film that transformed action hero Bruce Willis into a serious actor, and the film that gave us young Haley Joel Osment and those ghastly dead people. From there, Night continued down the road to Hollywood superstardom when he wrote and directed Unbreakable, starring new pal Willis and Samuel L. Jackson, Signed, starring Mel Gibson and Joaquin Phoenix, and The Village, starring Phoenix again, Adrian Brody and Bryce Dallas Howard, who he teams up again with this year in Lady in the Water. He's now considered this generation's master of suspense and one of Tinseltown's most original storytellers. He's shocked unsuspecting cinema goers with plot twists that have been talked about, debated and argued over for years. M. Night Shyamalan, a very wet welcome to that film show. Congratulations on Lady in the Water. Brilliant film. So, writer, producer, director, star, anything you can't do?
I'm a terrible cook, so I can't, my wife, I make waffles at home, but that's about it.
So, we won't see you as a chef?
No, I don't cater the movies. I do a terrible job.
Now, Lady in the Water, it's a bedtime story that you actually told your two daughters. So what was the inspiration behind the story?
Well, there was none. That was kind of the point of it. It's kind of when I tell stories to the kids, I have no idea what's going to come out of my mouth. They just say, "Could tell us a story." And sometimes they say, "Tell it about that clock." And then I just start, okay, so that clock was given to a grandmother, and that grandmother's name was Cecil, and Cecil was a funny name at that time. And I go like that, and then they start leaning in, and I'm learning it as it's coming out of my mouth, why Cecil, it was her name, and it's actually a nickname because she actually did this, which brings you back to the clock, you know, that kind of thing. And she would never give up that clock, and on and on and on. And that feeling of tumbling into this hole about what that clock is so dangerous. And even right now, I got a little bit of like, keep on going. Like I almost don't want to stop the interview and just keep telling that story about the clock. I want to hear the story, yeah. Yeah, and that kind of following a ladder into a world that I don't know where it's going, is so exciting and dangerous. And I wanted to make a movie like that, the process of the movie like that, and let go of all the things that you're supposed to do.
Come on out now. It's not safe. Oh, come on out. This is not funny.
With an incredible 37 films under his belt in the last 14 years, the star of Lady in the Water, Paul Giamatti, is true Hollywood royalty. With roles in such classic films as The Negotiator, American Splendor, Ron Howard's Cinderella Man, Sideways, and Steven Spielberg's Saving Private Ryan, the Oscar-nominated Giamatti blew potential lead Kevin Costner out of the water and landed the part in Night's Bedtime Story. After his Academy Award-nominated turn as Miles in the heartbreaking Sideways in 2004, Giamatti was propelled into leading man status and now has no less than 8 films due for release over the next 2 years. Keep your fingers crossed that Paul Giamatti has a long-awaited meeting with the little gold man very soon. The legend that is Paul Giamatti.
Wow.
A very welcome to that film show.
Thank you very much.
Tell us about the character of Cleveland.
Well, I play a guy who was a doctor, but has become a janitor, basically, in this kind of dingy apartment building. And he's had a horrible sort of crisis in his life, and crisis of faith in himself. So he's become kind of a hermit, and then he gets pulled into intrigue in the building.
And a stutter like Cleveland suffers from must be quite hard to perfect. How do you go about doing that?
Yeah, well, I did a little bit of sort of research about him, but I actually was just, I knew a kid growing up down the street who had a particular kind of stutter, so I thought I would use that. I don't know, it was an odd stutter. It wasn't what you'd normally expect, so I thought it would be more interesting than maybe what people would normally think a stutter's going to be like.
Technically, how do you go about practicing it? Do you sort of pace around doing a bit of a stutter?
Yeah, you do, kind of. You do have to sort of wander around your apartment doing that kind of thing. Yeah, I mean, it's a tricky thing to do. It's a dicey thing to do because it can really look pretty. It can go south pretty fast. So you don't want to overwork it because in a weird way you don't want to get too smooth with it. So it's a very tricky thing to do. I'm sorry, my ladder accidentally bumped into your desk. I ended up seeing the title of what it is you're writing. It said The Cookbook.
And we've all heard of him. Tell us what it's like working with M. Night Shyamalan.
He's great. He's not a control freak, but he's in control of everything pretty much. And he's he's a good host. He creates one of the nicest atmospheres on a set that I've ever worked on. I mean, it's great. He doesn't overwork anything. You get to go home early. He doesn't, it's fantastic. And people love working for him. It was very pleasant. He's very fun and funny, which I don't know that people would necessarily think from his movies because they can be kind of somber. But he keeps it incredibly light on the set, which is great.
Really sensitive with the actor around. The less we see, the better.
And there seems to be a lot of mystery surrounding M. Night Shyamalan and his pictures. Can you give us the inside scoop on that? Is he constantly?
That's the thing. No, he's not a mistake. He's a very down-to-earth guy. I think that he's got a great. He's constantly going, and he's constantly got these strange ideas. But he's a very approachable, down-to-earth guy. Actually, is sort of the only inside story I can give you.
And the cast was fantastic in this film. What was it like working with Bryce for a second time, of course?
Yes.
And Paul Giamatti.
Well, the whole cast was like being with a theater troupe. We were all together, and I had a part in it, so we were all kind of together in this kind of you know, in a basement of this place where we were rehearsing for 2 weeks, and those were some of the most rewarding times, watching each of us learn our characters and discovering it, and kind of there was so much support and excitement. It really became like the apartment building in the movie.
Well, you're not a dog at all.
I'm scared. It was about to get very dangerous.
Coming up in part 2, I sit down with one of Hollywood's brightest rising stars, Bryce Dallas Howard.
This is going to seem totally absurd. I mean, there's so much of this movie that seems completely absurd.
There'll be more exclusive behind-the-scenes footage from the set of Lady in the Water.
Background action!
Background! Action!
And we chat to the stars doing their thing on the blue carpet at the UK premiere.
If I could have a beard all the time, I would.
So stay tuned.
Hi, I'm Bryce Dallas Howard, and keep watching that film show, Lady in the Water special.